Hello, friends. Welcome to Trivia Over Tea, the quiz show podcast where we drink tea and play trivia. I'm your host, Matthew Cook, and I'm joined virtually with our guest scorekeeper, Julia Mahon Kuzin. Julia, how are you this morning?
Doing very well, Matthew. Trying to live each day to the fullest, you know?
Of course. And we're so glad to have you back scorekeeping again for the first time in 6 months or so.
I know.
Been a
Very
hot
exciting.
second, so thank you for coming back. Well, we've had some interesting matchups on our show before. We've had dads face off against each other. We've had brothers face off against each other, but we have never had sisters face off against each other. And so today we are going to break that streak. And so let's meet the sisters in question. First, we have Heidi.
Hello, I'm Heidi Parker Combs, and I have chai tea. I don't like tea very much, so I may not drink it, but I have it.
Well, it's the thought that counts, and we appreciate you making the effort, Heidi. And we also have Hailey.
Hey, y'all. I'm Hailey Parker Combs. I'm the older sister. And I'm currently drinking chai-flavored iced coffee.
Well, it's adjacent.
Tea,
it's close enough.
adjacent.
I suppose.
Tea adjacent.
I have a nice English breakfast tea in my Pomona College Choir 2020 mug that I will be sipping on throughout. So, anyway, thank you both, Heidi and Hailey, for being on the show today. As with all of our regular episodes, we'll have 4 rounds of questions today, each with a slightly different format. And so, without further ado, Julia will explain the rules for round 1.
Round 1 is our first general knowledge round, consisting of 5 multiple choice questions for each player. Correct answers are 10 points each.
Alrighty, Heidi, you're up first. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty, question 1. Which of the following is not a musical composed by Andrew Lloyd Webber? A, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, B, The Sound of Music, or C, Evita?
Unfortunately, I do not know very much about composers of musicals, but and the answer is probably very obvious to everyone else who does. So I'm gonna say Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat.
No, it's actually Sound of Music. That was Rodgers and Hammerstein. Yeah. Question 2. What is the top-selling video game console of all time? A, the Nintendo Switch, B, the Xbox 360, or C, the PlayStation 2?
That is a very interesting question. I'm gonna have to go with C, the PlayStation 2.
That is correct. Sony's PlayStation 2 has a narrow lead at over 155 million units sold. The Nintendo DS family, released in 2004, holds second at 154 million units. Question 3. The character of the Mad Hatter from Alice's Adventures in Wonderland is based on the phrase "mad as a hatter" that comes from Mad Hatter's disease, which in turn refers to the mental decline caused by the accumulation of what poisonous metal in the human body? A, mercury, B, lead, or C, uranium?
My guess is A, mercury.
That's correct. Many hats from the 18th and 19th century included mercury, which is how people contracted the disease. Question 4. The International Peace Garden is located on the U.S.-Canada border in the province of Manitoba and what U.S. state? A, Minnesota, B, North Dakota, or C, Montana?
Well, I was gonna guess Manitoba is somewhere near the middle left, so North Dakota and Montana are kind of throwing me for a loop. So I will guess Montana.
It was North Dakota, actually.
Dang it.
The Peace Garden's a little over 3 hours driving distance from Winnipeg and over 4 hours from Fargo. It's really out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. And finally, question 5. What founding father famously declared to the Second Virginia Convention on March 23rd, 1775, quote, "Give me liberty or give me death"? A, Patrick Henry, B, George Mason, or C, Thomas Jefferson?
I believe that was Patrick Henry.
That's correct. His persuasiveness is noted as being a reason that the Virginia colony voted to send troops for the Revolutionary War. Alrighty, Hailey, are you ready for your 5 questions?
Oh boy, here we go. Let's do it.
Okay. Question 1. What group was named by Billboard as the top mainstream rock artist, the top mainstream rock songs artist of the 2000s decade? A, Nickelback, B, Kings of Leon, or C, Linkin Park?
Oh, like for the memes, I really hope it's Nickelback, but I'm gonna officially guess Linkin Park.
You should have stuck with Nickelback.
No! Oh, darn.
Nickelback, famous for its songs such as Rockstar and Photograph, took #1 for rock in the 2000s, which Matthew Hauser, who wrote the question, writes, is a stunning indictment of American society at the time. Question 2. What is the composition of one water molecule? A, 2 hydrogen and 2 oxygen, B, 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen, or C, 3 hydrogen and 1 oxygen?
I'm gonna go with 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen.
That's correct. Its chemical formula is H2O. Question 3. The National Basketball Hall of Fame is located where? A, Cooperstown, New York, B, Canton, Ohio, or C, Springfield, Massachusetts?
Wow, this is a really good question. I feel like
Thank
all
you.
the Hall of
I
Fames
wrote it.
are in Ohio. I feel like everything's in Ohio. So I'm gonna go with, was it Canton, Ohio that you said?
Canton was the option. Yes, that's what you're going with.
Yes. Yeah, I'm
That's
going with
incorrect.
Canton, Ohio.
It's not
Dang.
correct.
Okay.
That is where the Pro Football Hall of Fame is. And of course,
Oh,
the
okay.
National Baseball Hall of Fame is in Cooperstown, New York. The Basketball Hall of Fame is in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Oh, that's awkward. I've definitely driven past
Just
that
down the
then.
road from you, sort of.
It's like 2 hours. It's
Yeah,
like 2 hours
close
for
enough.
me.
It's New England. Everything's right next to each other.
Okay.
Question 4. In November 1995, President Bill Clinton visited what city in Northern Ireland to show his support for the country's peace process? A, Belfast, B, Derry, or C, Ballycastle?
Oh, I know nothing about the geography of Ireland. So this is a guess. I'm gonna guess Derry.
That's correct. The visit was dramatized in the Netflix series Derry Girls. And finally, question 5. Last week, a cargo ship sank in the Atlantic Ocean carrying thousands of what? A, MacBook computers, B, televisions, or C, luxury cars?
Oh, this was last week. Oh boy.
Well, actually, it was this week, but when you're viewing this on Wednesday, it
It'll be
was
last
last
week.
week.
I see. Okay. Ooh. So it was MacBooks, cars, or TVs, is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I'm gonna say the MacBooks.
No, it was actually thousands of luxury cars.
It was luxury cars.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
About 4,000 vehicles were being transported. Among them was the Lamborghini Aventador, which is priced at $400,000. Oops. Well,
That's a house. That's
yeah.
casual.
Yeah, and now it's at the bottom of the ocean. So
Rip.
that's the end of round 1. Julia, can you please give us a score update?
At the end of round 1, Heidi is barely ahead at 30 and Hailey is at 20.
All righty, now it is time for round 2. So Julia, can you please explain the rules?
Round 2 consists of 5 questions directed to each player on the same topic. Correct answers are 20 points each. If a player gets a question wrong, their opponent will have the chance to give the correct answer for 10 points.
Alrighty, so for this week's round 2 categories, a couple months ago, there was a category that was famous people with a certain first name. And so I thought I'd bring that back. And so Heidi, you're going to get 5 questions about famous people who are named David. So every answer will be David somebody, okay? So Heidi, are you ready?
Oh yeah, I know all about David.
Perfect. Here we go. Question 1. What English soccer star made global headlines in 2007 when it was announced that he would join the LA Galaxy of the MLS?
I'm gonna have to go with, is it David Beckham?
That's correct. Originally only intending to stay for 6 months, he ended up playing for the Galaxy until 2012. Question 2. What singer was known for his eccentric stage presence, including his alter ego Ziggy Stardust, and sang songs like Starman and Changes?
That would be David Bowie.
That's correct. He is regarded as one of the most influential musicians of the 20th century. Question 3. What Englishman is perhaps best known for narrating nature documentaries?
Is that it?
Yes.
Oh no. Unfortunately, I am not too well versed in English nature documentaries.
He's a big proponent of environmental causes, just in general.
All right, you may think that would help, but unfortunately, I am still drawing a blank. Once you say it, I may actually know this person, but I'm gonna guess David Cook.
No, alas, was not David Cook. Hailey?
The only name that's coming to mind is David Attenborough.
That's correct. David Attenborough. His more recent work has been in support of environmental causes, and he was a key figure in the 2021 United Nations Climate Change Conference. Question 4. What singer won season 7 of American Idol, beating out the runner-up, David Archuleta?
Is this person also a David?
Yes, they're all David.
Oh, David Archuleta was my guess.
No, he was the runner-up.
David, he is the only American Idol I know with the name David. So I think I will have to pass. I just do not know.
Do you want to take a guess, though?
Should I say David Cook again? I don't know.
Well, is that your guess?
Sure.
That's correct. It is David Cook. Yeah. I was like, you
Rude.
might want to take a guess on this one, Heidi. Yes,
See,
it was
this
in
is where
fact
my
David Cook.
age,
Yeah.
my age plays in. I actually watched the season and remember it. I think you were a little too young, Heidi.
That could be. I just remember it. The only reason I remember it is A, because he has my last name, and B, because it was 2 Davids in the final. Not that I want to be very clear about this. I don't watch American Idol. I want to be very clear about that. I just remember that particular season finale because it was in the press and whatever. But anyway, since winning Idol, David Cook has released songs like "The Time of My Life" and "Light On." Neither of which I know. I just gleaned those off the internet, you know. And finally, question 5. What Prime Minister of the United Kingdom resigned in 2016 following the Brexit vote?
I also don't know that one, and I'm going to guess it's not David Cook again.
No, not that. No.
David. Yeah, I'm not too keen on politics, especially not in the UK because I do not live there. So yeah, I just don't know. I'll pass this one actually.
All right, Hailey.
I am also just as lost as my sister. You're gonna say the name and I'm gonna kick myself, but my guess right now is David Davidson.
No, this was David Cameron, and Theresa May succeeded him as prime minister. All righty, Hailey, you are going to get 5 questions about famous people named Anne.
Anne, okay.
Anne. So, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Question 1. Who famously kept a diary while her family was in hiding from the Nazis in Amsterdam during World War II?
Anne Frank.
That's correct. Her diary was saved by her father's secretary, Miep Gies, and was published after the war. Her father, Otto, was the only one of the family who survived the concentration camps. Question 2. What actress's film credits includes Fantine in Les Miserables, for which she won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress?
That's Anne Hathaway.
That's correct. She was named for Shakespeare's wife, also named Anne Hathaway. Question 3. What chef was the host of the Food Network show Secrets of a Restaurant Chef and is one of the Iron Chefs?
Oh, no. Oh, no. I bet you our parents know this, Heidi. Our parents
I
really like
should
put me
too.
down.
I can't think
No,
of
I
it
can't
either.
remember her last name. Oh gosh. Her name. Oh no. Her name is Anne. Her name is Anne Mahon Kuzin.
No, sadly, not
What?
correct. Heidi?
Crazy.
Dang, that worked for me, Haley. I'm shocked that did not work for you.
Well, maybe save
Um,
that for the next question, Haley, because it took Heidi 2 questions to.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Oh,
the
I
next
see.
one will be Anne Mahon Kuzin.
Yeah.
Is it Anne Burrell?
It is Anne Burrell. Yes, very good.
There it is.
She
Good job,
studied at the
Heidi.
Culinary Institute of America. Question 4. What teacher is best known for being the lifelong companion and teacher of Helen Keller?
Oh no. Oh no. Have I heard of her? Yes. Do I know what her last name is? Absolutely not. I'm gonna go. This is also another shot in the dark. Anne Franklin.
No. Heidi?
That was a good guess, Haley. I actually did multiple biographies on her in elementary school, so I'm very well versed on Anne Sullivan.
It is Anne Sullivan, yes.
Sullivan.
Sullivan herself was visually impaired and went completely blind in both eyes when she was 35. Sullivan was the first woman to be interred at the Washington National Cathedral. And finally, question 5. Who was the 4th wife of King Henry VIII, to whom she was married for only 6 months?
Yes. Okay. So have to go through all the names in my head of 6 Things School, which I did see on Broadway recently. It was very good.
Oh,
Highly
cool.
recommend. So it's not Anne Boleyn. She's 2. 4 is. I know the song. The song's going in my head. I'm gonna say Anne of Cleves.
Correct. She outlived the other 5 wives of Henry VIII. I completely forgot about Anne Boleyn. That would have been also a good one to talk
Yeah,
about.
she's number 2.
She is number 2. Yeah, and she was beheaded. Yeah.
Rip.
Yes. Well, that's the end of round 2. So, Julia, can you please give us a score update?
Indeed. Heidi's at 110, Haley's at 90.
Alrighty, now it is time for round 3. So, Julia, can you please tell us the rules?
Round 3 is our second general knowledge round. There'll be 5 questions for each player, and correct answers are now worth 30 points. Like in round 2, if a player gets a question wrong, their opponent will have the chance to give the correct answer for 15 points.
Alrighty, Heidi, are you ready for your 5 questions?
I am ready.
Okay, question 1. What interstate highway connects Charlottesville and Richmond, Virginia?
I was actually looking at a map before this, but unfortunately, I did not have much time to look very hard. If it's not 95, I don't know.
Well, it's not 95, sadly. Haley?
Sadly, I never drove to Charlottesville from Richmond when I lived there. So I'm trying to remember what interstate it is. Is it? This is going to be so wrong, Matthew. I'm so sorry. Is it going to be 64?
It is going to be 64. Yes. That's the east-west one across the center of the
Woo!
state. Question 2. What element starts with X and is a noble gas?
Is that xenon?
That's correct. It is one of 6 noble gases on the periodic table. Question 3. What state was the first to be represented by 2 female senators at the same time?
Well, that would be a very nice question to know the answer to. That's wonderful, but I don't know the answer. But there are lots of states, and I know very many of them. So I will guess one. Let's
Strategy.
Let's go with Connecticut.
No, not Connecticut. Hey, Haley?
Okay, not Connecticut. Fantastic. I also do not know the answer to this question, but I'm also probably going to pick another New England state. And I'm going to let's pick Massachusetts.
No, sadly not Massachusetts. The answer is California.
Oh,
in
congrats,
1990
California.
In 1993, Barbara Boxer was sworn in as the junior U.S. Senator from California, joining Dianne Feinstein, who had been in the Senate less than 2 months. And I didn't write this down, but there are a couple of states now that are represented by 2 female senators. I think Nevada is one of them. New Hampshire, I think, is one of them.
Go New Hampshire.
There might be others that I'm not remembering at the moment. So anyway, there you go. Question 4. At what temperature are Celsius and Fahrenheit equal to each other?
Ooh, that is a good question.
Thank you.
Well, I know how to convert from one to the other, but unfortunately, I don't think I can think quick enough through all the numbers to get that. It's probably negative. I will say -17.
No. Hailey?
I also think it's a negative, but I'm going to pick a different number. I think it's -29.
Are you getting closer? -40.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's either one, you know it or you don't. There's no way to figure that out, I don't think. And finally, question 5. Most plants perform C3 photosynthesis, which occurs in temperate, humid areas. CAM photosynthesis, CAM photosynthesis, occurs in dry environments where desiccation, the removal of moisture or extreme dryness, occurs during the day, and humid nights allow for photorespiration. What third type of photosynthesis occurs in wet, hot areas that allows for photorespiration to be more efficient in the heat?
Well, that is a very interesting question. I did not know there was more than one type of photosynthesis.
Oh.
So did you say the first one was C photosynthesis?
C3.
C3. Okay, I will guess C4.
That is correct, actually. C4
No way!
photosynthesis. Don't ask me to explain it. I cannot. Tanner Tim wrote that question. So there you go. C4 photosynthesis. Hailey, are you ready for your 5 questions?
Let's do it.
All righty, here we go. Question 1. What interstate highway serves as a eastern bypass of Richmond, Virginia?
Is that 95?
No.
Oh.
Heidi?
You said Eastern, right? So it's got to be an even number,
Well,
maybe?
it's not necessarily an east-west route. It bypasses
Oh.
Richmond to the east.
I see. Okay. I will guess because I don't actually know, but maybe 71.
No.
Can I have a second guess? I think I do know. Is it Route 1?
No, it's not. This is I-295.
Oh, never would have got there.
Yeah. There you go. Question 2. What is the longest bone in the human body?
Oh no. The longest one? It's one of the leg ones. It's let's guess your femur.
That's correct. Yes, the bone in your thigh. Question 3. On August 27th, 2020, Inner Sloth released the Henry Stickmin Collection, an anthology of the Henry Stickmin games in anticipation of the official shutdown of what program developed by Adobe that ran many early 21st century internet programs?
Oh, would that be Adobe Flash?
That's correct. The Stickmin games are some of the most famous Flash games. Other prominent ones include Red Ball, This Is the Only Level, and Bloom Tower Defense.
Huh. Never heard of any of those.
No, me neither. My brother wrote that question. Perhaps you'll not be shocked to hear that.
Thanks, Mason.
Yep. He started because he was over here last night, hence why I took him to the airport this morning. And he was reading me his questions. And we got through the Henry Stickmin part, and I was thinking, oh, Lord, I don't know where the heck this is going. And then it was Flash Player, and I was like, oh, well, I know that. Anyway.
Fair.
Question 4. Most research libraries in the United States use what library's classification system for cataloging materials?
I'm going to say the Dewey Decimal System.
No, not that one.
Dun dun dun.
Heidi.
Applause, please.
Well, that was also my guess.
Oh.
Classification system?
Yeah, it's a different, like, instead of the Dewey Decimal System, they use
Oh,
this
there's like another
library's.
competing system with the Dewey
Yes.
Decimal System.
Yes. Which-
Yeah, not one that I've heard of.
Well, which interestingly enough, because I believe Robinson actually used the Dewey Decimal System, and I know that my elementary school used that because that's what I learned, and it wasn't until I got to college that I learned this other system. And Pomona used it, and USC uses it, and I've gotten the sense that this is more common in big research libraries, I think.
I still do not know,
Okay.
but I will guess the presidential system.
Actually, you're getting close. The Library of Congress system.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that you
Okay.
mention it, I think I have heard of it, which is why I was going president. I thought it was something like that.
Yeah, you were adjacent. It was developed in 1897 by the library's cataloger, James Hansen, with the help from Charles Martel. And finally, question 5. According to Gallup's Most Admired Woman in the World poll, this former First Lady is the most admired in the world, winning the poll every year since 2018.
I'm gonna guess Jackie Kennedy.
No,
Oh, dun dun dun.
no. Heidi?
That was also my guess. But you said starting in 2018, she's won the poll every year.
Yeah.
Oh,
I will say Michelle Obama.
Yeah. It's Michelle Obama.
I missed the 2018 part.
Mm,
Whoopsies.
yeah,
You're like, yeah, sure you did. Okay.
that would have been helpful to latch on to. Yeah.
Sorry, but Jackie Kennedy is like a style icon.
No,
Sorry.
you're right. You're right. Yeah.
Just wrong year. Wrong year. All good.
Jackie Kennedy has also been dead for 20 years. But
Correct. But she's
Or
still
30
used
years.
as a style.
almost 30 years, I think. Anyway. That's the end of round 3. So Julia, can you please give us a score update?
Hailey and Heidi both received 75 points that round, which leaves the score Heidi 185 and Hailey at 165.
All righty, now it is time for round 4. So, Julia, can you please explain the rules?
Of course. Round 4 is our showdown. The 2 players will be asked to write down their answers to the same 3 questions. Correct answers are worth 40 points.
All righty. Heidi, Hailey, are we ready?
I do not have paper, but I am so ready.
Okay.
How do you not have paper in Mom's office?
I don't know what she needs. I'm taking this paper. Sorry, Mom.
I don't think she'll care.
I'll take
Let
the
alone
fall.
notice.
I'll take the fall with Mrs. Parker Combs if there's a problem.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Mom.
I'll tell her it was your fault.
Okay.
My fault or his fault?
No, it was Matthew's fault.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's always my fault. It's fine. It has to be okay. Anyway, here we go. Question 1. Now housed in the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History, what gem was donated by jeweler Harry Winston in 1958? Alrighty, Heidi, what is your answer?
I definitely should know the answer. I think it's the Hope Diamond.
Hailey?
Dang it. That's probably the correct answer. I could not think of a gem, so I came up with the Titanic, Heart of the Ocean.
No, it is in fact the Hope Diamond. Winston had owned it since 1949 when he purchased it from the estate of Evelyn McLean. When donating the diamond to the Smithsonian, he sent it in a box wrapped in brown paper via the U.S. Postal Service and insured it for $1 million. So there you go. Question 2. The co-founder of what university was the president of the Central Pacific Railroad which was considered the western half of the first transcontinental railroad?
So name the university?
Yes, but the university also bears this guy's name.
Good to know. Thank you.
Although I should clarify that the university was actually named after his son. He named the university after his son, but it's his name too. So. Alrighty, Heidi, what is your answer?
I do not know many universities that are not named after the state they're in. So I went with Carnegie Mellon.
All right, Hailey?
I did not guess that. I guessed Oberlin University.
No, I was hoping that saying that it was the western half of the Transcontinental Railroad was going to be a clue that it was somewhere out west. This is Stanford University. Leland.
Oh,
Yeah, Leland Stanford was eventually the one who drove in the Golden Spike at Promontory Point, Utah, the symbolic completion of the Transcontinental Railroad. And his son, Leland Stanford Jr., is the namesake of the university. And finally, question 3. What amusement park is located in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee? Heidi, what is your guess?
Not a good one. Hailey looked like she knew that right away, and I don't. So I wrote down Dollywood.
All right.
well, Heidi, I think you guessed right because my answer was also Dollywood.
Yeah.
Heidi is really good with the guesses today.
That's
It is
rude,
in
Heidi.
fact Dollywood. In 1950s.
Well, I knew it had to be in Tennessee. It wasn't really a guess. I just didn't know if it was the right one.
I mean, how many amusement parks are in the state of Tennessee? I think there's just
Probably
one.
only
I don't
one.
know that for a fact.
Sorry to the state of Tennessee.
Apologies to the state of Tennessee. Yes, but yes, you're correct. You're both correct. It is in fact Dollywood. In 1986, Dolly Parton bought the theme park, which was then named the Silver Dollar City, and grew it into what it is today, and thereby creating a lot of jobs for the area. Parton grew up in nearby Pittman Center, Tennessee. Well, that's the end of the game. So, Julia, can you please give us the final score?
Final score is Heidi at 265 and Hailey at 205.
Well, congratulations, Heidi. You have won. Do you have anything that you would like to say?
Just thank you for inviting me on the show. I am very excited to listen to this in the car on Wednesday when it comes out.
Very good. We love a loyal listener. Well, that's our show for this week, folks. Thank you, Heidi and Hailey, for being on the show today, as well as Julia Mahon Kuzin for being our scorekeeper and Mason Cook for composing the music. Today's questions were written by Caitlin Fick, Lucas Hauser, Matthew Hauser, Tanner Tim, Mason Cook, and yours truly. And thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe to Trivia Over Tea on your preferred podcast platform and leave us a review if you enjoyed it. Check out our Facebook and Instagram pages at Trivia Over Tea, as well as our Twitter account, also at Trivia Over Tea. And when we live stream more episodes in the future, you can find us at twitch.tv/TriviaOverTea. And I'm trying to do this from memory, and I'm forgetting what the next part is. I think that's it. I think that's all I have to tell you. Oh, and tune in next week, please. We'll have 2 more contestants and 33 more fantastic questions. Thank you. We'll see you next week.